The Durrani Empire, also known as the Afghan Empire or the Sadozai Kingdom, was a powerful and influential empire that was founded by the Durrani tribe of Pashtuns under the leadership of Ahmad Shah Durrani in 1747. The empire spanned across a vast region, encompassing parts of Central Asia, the Iranian Plateau, and the Indian subcontinent. At its peak, the Durrani Empire controlled a significant portion of modern-day Afghanistan, Pakistan, northeastern and southeastern Iran, eastern Turkmenistan, and northwestern India. This empire is considered to be one of the most significant Islamic empires of the second half of the 18th century, rivaling the Ottoman Empire in its power and influence. Ahmad Shah Durrani was born as the son of Muhammad Zaman Khan, a Pashtun chieftain from the Abdali tribe. After his father's death, Ahmad secured his position as the leader of Afghanistan by capturing key cities such as Kandahar, Ghazni, Kabul, and Peshawar. Following his accession to the throne, he changed his tribal name from Abdali to Durrani. In 1749, the Mughal Empire ceded sovereignty over much of northwestern India to the Afghans, and Ahmad set out to take possession of Mashhad, which was ruled by Shahrokh Shah of the Afshari dynasty. Shahrokh acknowledged Afghan suzerainty over the region. Under Ahmad's leadership, the Afghans launched several military campaigns against India. In 1757, he led an army to subdue the regions north of the Hindu Kush mountain range and down to the Amu Darya River. As a result, many Pashtun tribes joined his cause, and he eventually invaded India on 8 occasions. During these campaigns, he subjugated parts of Kashmir and the majority of Punjab. In early 1757, he sacked Delhi, but permitted Mughal Emperor Alamgir II to remain in nominal control as long as he acknowledged Afghan suzerainty over the regions south of the Indus River up to the Sutlej River. Ahmad Shah attempted to unite neighboring Muslim Khanates and Kazakhs to attack China, which had expanded its borders to eastern Kazakhstan. However, he lacked sufficient resources to do so, and instead sent envoys to Beijing for unsuccessful. Ahmad Shah's military prowess was unmatched. His most famous victory was at the Battle of Panipat in 1761, where his forces defeated the Marathas, marking a significant turning point in Indian history. The Battle of Panipat was a game-changer. It not only solidified Ahmad Shah's control over northern India, but also demonstrated his strategic brilliance. However, maintaining such a vast empire came with its challenges. The Third Battle of Panipat saw Ahmad Shah's coalition decisively defeat the Maratha Confederacy in 1761, restoring Mughal power in northern India. However, this victory was followed by rebellions in Bukhara and weakened his control over Punjab, which fell to the rising Sikh missiles. Ahmad Shah continued to face challenges in his later years, including rebellions in the north and battles with the Sikhs. He eventually agreed to compromise with the Uzbeks and died in 1772. Despite his death, the Durrani Empire continued to exert influence over Afghanistan until it lost control over Kashmir to the Sikh Empire in 1819. Overall, Ahmad Shah Durrani's remarkable achievements include uniting various Afghan tribes under a single rule, expanding his empire through military conquests, and earning recognition as a wise leader who balanced tribal alliances and hostilities. Ahmad Shah Durrani's administration was known for its efficiency. He established a centralized government, promoted trade, and maintained a strong military presence throughout his empire. He appointed regional governors to oversee different parts of the empire, ensuring a degree of local autonomy while maintaining central control. But despite his successes, internal strife and external pressures began to surface. Ahmad Shah Durrani passed away in 1772, and his death marked the beginning of the empire's decline. His successors struggled to maintain the unity and control he had established. Internal conflicts among the Pashtun tribes and pressure from the British East India Company weakened the empire. The subsequent rulers, including Timur Shah Durrani and Zaman Shah Durrani, faced numerous challenges. Timur Shah shifted the capital from Kandahar to Kabul, but his reign was marked by continuous rebellions and power struggles. Zaman Shah attempted to revive the empire's fortunes, but faced opposition from within and from foreign powers. In the late 18th century, the Durrani Empire, led by Ahmad Shah, was facing a significant crisis. Ahmad Shah had recently made a shocking decision to name his son Timur Shah as his heir, rather than his eldest son Suleiman, who was the governor of Kandahar. This decision was met with resistance from the tribal council, who had supported Suleiman's claim to the throne. The conflict between Timur Shah and Suleiman was further complicated by the fact that Suleiman's supporters, including Shah Wali Khan and Sardar Jahan Khan, had been influential in the court and had urged Ahmad Shah to reconsider his decision. However, Ahmad Shah remained adamant and insisted that Timur Shah was more capable of governing the empire. As Ahmad Shah's health began to decline, Sardar Jahan Khan capitalized on Timur Shah's proximity to the dying emperor and poisoned his ear, convincing him to deny Timur Shah a final blessing before his death. This led to Timur Shah mobilizing his forces against Suleiman, but his plans were stalled by a rebellion led by Darwish Ali Khan, which was likely instigated by Suleiman's supporters. After Ahmad Shah's death in 1772, Shah Wali Khan and Sardar Jahan Khan kept the news of his passing a secret and took as much treasure as they could from the palace. They then left for Kandahar, announcing that the king was ill and ordering everyone to leave him alone except for his trusted officials. Meanwhile, Suleiman was proclaimed king, but many emirs were unhappy with this decision and fled to Timur Shah's side. Timur Shah eventually marched towards Kandahar to face Suleiman and his supporters. However, before he could engage in battle, Shah Wali Khan betrayed him and attempted to ride into his camp to beg for peace. But Timur Shah had him killed along with his 2 sons and 2 sisters' children. With Suleiman forced to surrender, Timur Shah ascended the throne in November 1772. He spent much of his reign consolidating power and driving influence away from the Durrani Pashtuns and towards the growing Qizilbash and Mongol guards in his army. He also moved the capital from Kandahar to Kabul, which was seen as a better base of operation to combat threats from any direction. Timur Shah faced several challenges during his reign, including recurring rebellions against him, including an assassination attempt early in his reign at Peshawar. He also fought against various rival factions, including those led by Faiz Allah Khan, Azad Khan, and Arsalan Khan. After Timur Shah's death in 1793, his son Zaman Shah succeeded him, but was overthrown by his brother Mahmud Shah in 1801. Mahmud Shah's first reign lasted only 2 years before he was replaced by Shuja Shah. Shuja Shah ruled for 6 years before being deposed by Mahmud Shah again in 1809. He later regained power with British support in 1839 to 1842. Mahmud Shah's second reign lasted 9 years before he was deposed by his brother Ayub Shah in 1818. Ayub Shah ruled briefly before being overthrown by Ismail in 1819. The Durrani Empire continued to experience turmoil throughout the 19th century, with various factions vying for power and external threats from neighboring states. Despite its struggles, the empire remained a significant force in Central Asia until its eventual decline in the mid-19th century. The Durrani military was built around a core of highly trained cavalry units. These mounted warriors, known as ghulams, were armed with flintlocks, which were a new and innovative technology at the time. The Durrani army's combat strategy was centered on hit-and-run tactics, which allowed them to exploit the advantages of their cavalry and firearms. At the heart of the Durrani army were approximately 10,000 Sherbacha, blunderbuss carrying mounted ghulams. These elite soldiers were largely composed of former slave soldiers who had been trained in the traditions of the Turco-Mongol cavalry. A significant proportion of these ghulams, roughly 1/3, were previously Shia soldiers who had served under Nader Shah, a powerful Persian ruler who had unified much of the region in the early 18th century. Many other ghulams were also former troops of Nader Shah's empire. The bulk of the Durrani army, however, was comprised of Afghan irregular tribal cavalry units. These warriors were armed with lances and broadswords and were skilled in traditional Afghan horsemanship. Although mounted archers were still used in the Durrani army, they were relatively rare due to the difficulty of training them to effectively employ their bows while on horseback.
Infantry played a surprisingly small role in the Durrani army, and artillery was almost entirely absent. The exception to this was the Zambarak, a light swivel gun that was mounted on camels and used for specific purposes, such as fortification or siege warfare. The lack of emphasis on infantry and artillery reflected the Durrani army's focus on mobility and speed, as well as its reliance on traditional cavalry tactics. Despite these limitations, the Durrani military was a powerful force in its day, and played a significant role in shaping the politics and history of Central Asia. The legacy of the Durrani Empire lives on. Ahmad Shah Durrani is remembered as the founder of modern Afghanistan, a unifier, and a brilliant military leader. His empire, though short-lived, played a crucial role in shaping the history of South and Central Asia and is known as the second most significant Islamic empire of the 18th century. May Allah reward